Hi, this is No Ordinary Voice of Spiritual Ventriloquism. You are listening to Dummy himself. Well, the other day actually, it was this morning, it wasn't the other day. I was looking at some statistics about marriage success rates, particularly in the United States. And one thing that stood out, and this was a study that was done back in 2016 by the Family Research Council, uh, and they found in their study that 11% divorce rate among women uh, that were virgins when they were married, uh, and as opposed to a divorce rate that's well over 60 to 65% over the course of say 20 years. Could be 60 to 70% almost. Uh, So anyway, so we see that, and one of the things that I'd like to mention is that the inherent value in that is in the woman's assimilation to the man, or the soul tie that she forms with the man. If she has been promiscuous or whatnot, then multiple soul ties have been formed and broken, and I don't want to say she's damaged goods, but for the lack of a better word, many of them are, and they have a very difficult time reconciling a lot of those experiences. Whereas a female who has not known a man, she doesn't have to deal with all things like the rejection or the heartbreak or the regret or the bitterness or the wonder. She doesn't have to, she doesn't have anybody else to compare her to, her husband to. So, I can see where that would work out quite a bit better. Anyway, with that being said, I really didn't want to talk about marriage and divorce rates and statistics. I did want to talk about the word virginity itself and the way we view things in Western culture. Um, Virginity in a Western culture is viewed, and I must say disgustingly so, as a one-off. That once the deed has been done, the conjugation or whatever, then now you are of lesser value, or you're not quite the same person you was before, you know, and honestly, I think that's reprehensible to have that idea. But honestly, that is the idea that is inculcated in the Christian West, is that once a woman has had conjugation, even with her own husband, she now is no longer a virgin. And that is neither a scriptural nor a psychological truth. That's a falsehood. As a matter of fact, can you imagine, being married to your husband, and then the next morning, you know, you're not the same person you was the night before. And there's all kinds of things, and I don't want to go into the theological parameters surrounding such an attitude. I will just say this: it's not a scriptural one. Um, the In the Hebrew, in the Hebraic, the word that we have translated into the Latin, virgin or virginos or whatever, I don't know. And there's also a Greek word called parthenos, okay? And that's where they get the Parthenon, the holy whatever of the gods, temple. And in Greek mythology and a lot of mythologies, even to some degree, you can see, even in the Hebraic, the, indirect connections to masculine and feminine that's operating in the liturgy and things like that. But anyway, just setting all that aside, I don't want to go into that right now. The word in Hebrew is Bethula, or, and it connotates purity. Looks like we're going to get a little rain here, so it could get loud. Anyway, it connotates purity, and I think that is the correct one. I think that's the correct idea. We have to look at this from a pure standpoint, from a biblical standpoint, because uh, you know, to say that a woman in Scripture, all throughout Scripture, the only time a woman, her status ever changes, whether from the time she married as a maid or whatever, until the day that she dies, her status never changes. Just because it's the 14,000th time you've had sex does not mean that her status has depreciated one iota. Now, maybe in a Western mindset it has, in Western Christian mindset. And, that's just, so much bullshit as far as I'm concerned. But in a Hebrew concept, it's one that has maintained their covenantal vows and their covenantal purity throughout the course of their relationship. So if a woman maintains her purity, she is still the same person. She still has the same covenantal bond and seal as the time that she first went in. I mean, we're not talking a physical issue here, okay? And so many times in a Western mindset, that's what the Westerners dwell on, this chronological, that was then, this is now, and tomorrow will be another time type of rationale and thinking. And it obfuscates the truth. It occludes the meaning, okay? The covenantal, fidelity does not change the status of the woman as long as she maintains and is in covenant with her husband. I'm just going to give one scripture here because honestly, this pretty well says it all. And if you don't get it, you don't get it. Okay? And I do think I have the Spirit of Yah. Okay? So it says here in Revelation 14, "Then I looked, and behold, the Lamb was standing on Mount Zion, and with him were 144,000 who had his name and his father's name written on their foreheads. And I heard a voice from heaven like the roar of rushing waters and the booming of loud thunder. The voice I heard was like harpists playing on their harps, and they are singing a new song before the throne and before the four living creatures and the elders, and no one is able to learn the song except the 144,000 who had been redeemed from the earth. These are the ones who have not defiled themselves with women." So now, for they are virgins. Okay, so we are now talking in a symbolical sense, but we are directly referring to the 144,000 who have not defiled themselves with women, for they are virgins. These are the ones who follow the Lamb wherever he goes. These have been redeemed from among mankind as the first fruits of Yah and of the Lamb, and in their mouth was found no lie. They are blameless. Okay? And we are going to go to the other verse where it talks about the 144,000. Chapter 7. Okay? "Now I heard the number of those marked with the seal, 144,000 from every tribe of Bnei Israel. 12,000 from the tribe of Judah, 12,000 from the tribe of Reuben, 12,000 from the tribe of Gad, 12,000 from the tribe of Asher, 12,000 from the tribe of Naphtali, 12,000 from the tribe of Manasseh, 12,000 from the tribe of Simeon, 12,000 from the tribe of Levi, 12,000 from the tribe of Issachar, 12,000 from the tribe of Zebulun, 12,000 from the tribe of Joseph, and 12,000 from the tribe of Benjamin. Benjamin. Okay. Now, I'm sorry, I hate to break everybody's Christian Western bubble, But these are 12,000, 12,000, 12,000. They are all males. They are all males. They are not, females are not being marked here as 144,000. And I'm going to show you right here. And after these things I looked, and behold, a vast multitude that no one could count, from every nation and all tribes and peoples and tongues, was standing before the throne and before the Lamb. They were clothed in white robes with palm branches in their hands, and crying with a loud voice, saying, salvation belongs to our God who sits on the throne and to the Lamb. Now I want to go back to this numbering of Israel. Are we going to use a Christian form of numbering Israel, or are we going to use the Hebraic form of numbering Israel? I would prefer to use the Hebraic form of numbering Israel, and that is with a few exceptions when it came to certain divisions of portions of tribute. The only ones were ever numbered for war or counted were the males. Okay? The males were the ones who were numbered when they came out of Egypt, plus women and children. Okay? All right? And in the King James, it says 600,000 men of war, plus women and children. So the ones that are being numbered is the males. Now, you females need to learn why it is so important for you to come under the covering of a covenantal Israelite male, because you are only counted in him as he is counted in the Messiah. Okay? For the man is the head of the wife, the Christ is the head of the man, and Yah is the head of Christ. That's the order that Shaul gave in the book of Corinthians. Okay? So the part of that multitude, that vast multitude, are the wives of each and every one of these Israelite males. And that's why it is a multitude. See, it's the same type of numbering system in this book that you read about back in Torah. Okay? So, honestly, going back to chapter 14, it says, and these are those who have not defiled themselves with women. And it says, for they are virgins. These are the ones who follow the Lamb wherever he goes. And it is the male, in a sense, I don't know why they're throwing this word virgin here in the New Testament. If it's a legit word, then we have to say that the 144,000 have, because honestly, there's a lot of people that aren't going to make it. All right. To be in that 144,000, because if we take the Western mindset, and virginity or purity or covenantal cleanness is a one-off, like it says in the Western mindset, then the 144,000 and the multitude are sluts. Okay? There's no other way you can go with that. Okay? All right. So, basically what I'm saying is that it is a Hebraic numbering system, and that this term about virginity, as we know it today in modern times, as we understand it here and have been indoctrinated to think about in the West, in the physical, okay, is erroneous, and it's ridiculous. And it's amazing how many years I have been, what do you say, how many years I spent, I haven't believed this Western thing in many, many years, but how many years I was deluded into thinking that, this had something to do with it. So Revelation 14 is a reference, because as the woman, as the man is the Lord or the master over the wife, so is he in covenantal feminine relationship to the Messiah in his service to the Messiah. That has already been well established. No reason to even question that. So the idea of them being virgins is that they have not broken covenant with their Elohim. They have remained faithful to Yahweh, okay? And they have not gone aside and to foreign mighty ones and have transgressed the covenant. So anyway, I hope that this short video gives you some understanding on the subject. It is a premise, the Western premise of the term virginity, I have rejected for many years, and it would be a good idea if we stop following our Anglo-European handlers and we get on with the Hebraic understanding of text and scripture and how that plays out not only in the New Testament writings, in the writings of the Apostle Paul, but also in the writings of Yohanan, in the revelation of the Messiah, Yeshua HaMashiach. Have a good day. Shalom.